Hello everyone, Dom here from Esports News UK with another Insomnia interview. I'm joined by Pawp, the jungler for Grey Warwick. You've just won the BYOC League of Legends Open at i68. Congratulations, how does it feel?
Yeah, feels really good. It was a bit of a risk, you have to invest a lot to come to these types of tournaments, and it only really pays off if you win, so it feels good to get that money.
I've got to say, it must be sort of bittersweet for you guys because you lost yesterday in the NSC finals to DMC T1, but you've won on the DMU, sorry. You've won on the big stage. So that must feel a bit odd. You must have been disappointed yesterday and then sort of on a high now.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we kind of held up the tournament with the NSC finals, so we had to play a BO3 in the morning, play the BO5 in between, and then a BO3 at 9 p.m. And it was, going to that last BO3, it was a little bit tough to kind of get focused because we just gone through a loss, right? And going to sleep yesterday was weird because we're going to finals tomorrow, but disappointed about the results yesterday. It feels really good to get the win today. Obviously disappointing about what happened at NSC, but can only look forward.
And not only just a win, but someone next to me was saying, I'm going to say, he won't mind me saying it, Ferndog, the former coach of EXO Esports, said, I think that's the quickest best of five he's ever seen. Now, obviously, you went into the best of five with a one-game advantage because you came through the upper bracket. Yeah. But, it was really dominant. For me, I felt like it was, at first I said jungle difference, but across the board, mid as well, I was particularly impressed with your mid laner, Vlad in game one and Viger in game two. But tell us a bit about your thoughts on how it went. Did you think it would be that quick, or you were very what's the word, like real united as a team? You had strength as a unit.
Right. I mean, with Grey Warwick, we've been playing together for the last year, and then our top laner is new for everybody else, but I've been playing with Louis for the last 3 years, so we're all kind of pretty tight on that end. Our previous game, we played against them before, obviously, and we lost. We'd kind of tried a bit of an experimental draft that didn't go too well. Kind of some karma sewn on the same team, like trying to abuse Enchantress as much as we could, and it didn't end up going well. So we didn't know what it would be like going to the series, what they had planned. We hadn't practiced much of the 5 at all, actually, but we know they hadn't either, so it was kind of up in the air how it would go. But I think the second we got on stage, we were just in that state, and we wanted to win, and we did.
Was that in the group stage you played them, where they beat you? Right, okay, because I've got to say, you ruffled a few feathers with other League of Legends players in this BYOC, because you were taking part in the NSC tournament and the BYOC. Yeah. The admins had to try and make sure that everything... Do you have a message for any of those players that were frustrated? I mean, it's good that all the games got to happen, but they had to wait around a few hours.
Yeah. I mean, the admins were really accommodating to us, which we obviously really appreciate. I think there was just a little bit of disorganization and communication errors with the other players that kind of led to people waiting a long time, and then I think they didn't end up playing the losers finals until this morning, which obviously sucks for them because they had to wait 5 hours and do nothing. I mean, I think stuff like that happens with tournament admin stuff. It's really, it's sad that when it does, but
I've got to ask about Galul's comments, who was on the other team, the 4.5 men who you beat. He said before the game on stage that, in so many words, scrimming is overrated and you don't need team synergy. I think you kind of proved him wrong. You said off camera there was a bit of backstory to that, right?
Yeah. So Galul actually played in Turkish League 3 years ago, and my older brother's a coach in the Turkish League, and he coached him 3 years ago on his debut. So we have a bit of a backstory there, and I hit him with that fact because he didn't know backstage, and a bit of a wow face. So that was pretty good. We have a bit of backstory with him, and I mean, I think when you're playing series like this, it's good to trash talk a little bit. I don't blame him for doing it. It just backfires sometimes, and you just got to roll with it.
You're also a player for Team Singularity in the NLC Division 1. I mean, it's been a tough split, but to be fair, Singularity did say early on that it was going to be a kind of experiment in terms of being a student team. What are your sort of reflections and learnings from that? I mean, you've gone up against big teams like X7, JDXL, Bifrost. That is not an easy league to play in, Veneer and so on. Yeah,
it was definitely very big experiments, and we started off very bad. I think there was a lot of kinks that we had to roll out. We had, I think, 3 rookies going into that split, so we had to get used to each other. Now we have our roster ready already, where other NLC teams don't, so we're really looking forward to the next split, especially with we have a new mid laner that hasn't been announced yet. And he'll be I'm very, very excited for next split. I think like playoffs are definitely in our eyes and further and beyond.
What, for Singularity?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to sort of change the student players then, or just one player?
Just left students. Only one player is changing for mid lane. So Drogain went into free agency. Yeah.
And you're targeting playoffs?
For sure, yeah. I think yeah. I mean, jokingly, our claim to fame is that we had more kills against X7 than K Corp did in the EU Masters earlier. But yeah, I think we feel really strong, especially in the kind of scrims we're doing so far. I'm super hyped for this roster, and we have a really good grasp on the meta so far. I kind of gave it a bit of a preview on stage today. Yeah.
And tell us a bit about yourself as well, Pawp, because you've been playing for a while, right? You've got experience. Tell us how old you are and a bit of your background, how you got into League and so on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 21 now.
Yeah.
I've been playing mostly like university leagues in here and there. I didn't want to get too involved in the UK scene of things, just because it didn't seem worth it at the time, to be fair. So I've just kind of been a solo queue player, and then I've run my own teams through university leagues like Cabbage Family, through NUEL and NSC, and then now I'm doing a Masters at Warwick, which I finished in August. Yeah, and then kind of have to see what happens after the next Singularity split. But I kind of have high hopes, yeah. Yeah,
and I should know this because this is all on Liquipedia or whatever page you have. But what's your nationality? Because you've got an interesting accent, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, so I was born in Turkey, and then I did my high school in the States, but my father's from the UK.
Oh, that's an interesting mix. Yeah, because I didn't want to say American in case I got it wrong, but you've got a sort of American twang to your accent, so it's quite unique. You know. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'm really happy with the win today. I think everybody showed up, and looking forward to NLC split, obviously. Yeah, the future looks bright.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congrats again. It's good to see you win. We've got some good team photos, and good luck. I mean, you're in. The other thing I was going to say, University Esports Masters, because Grey Warwick got through to that. University Esports Masters is all the top uni teams from around Europe. Right. What happened there? Did you get knocked out? You were saying off camera you sort of weren't able to play because you were playing in the NLC. That sounds unfortunate.
Yeah, there's a bit of an ambiguous rule that was kind of added last year of how like Div 1 players aren't allowed to play. Which kind of try to make the argument that like Singularity is, focused on this university aspect, and this rule isn't enforced by Riot or anything. It's purely by Amazon Esports. But that's why, like with Grey Warwick, we kind of had to, we decided to sub in our current mid laner Lobom, and then move our old mid laner into jungle. And yeah, I mean, they did a great job in adapting to that, because I was a big voice in the team, and they still got super close to making it back to UEM now. It was disappointing. Like I've been trying to get to UEM for like 2-3 years, and I was kind of denied after playing in NLC. Even though I'm a full-time uni student, but that's alright.
And as a fellow jungler, slightly lower elo than you, I like my Vi, I like my Evelyn, Diana. What are we going to see picks like that? I mean, we don't see Eve in the top play, do we? Who are your favourite champs?
Yeah, I really like stuff like Eve. I think like Eve, Fiddlesticks, Nocturne, Karthus, these sort of champions actually have really high value in draft. And
they're all scary demon champs as well, aren't they?
Yeah, just like me. Yeah, I think they have really high value in draft, and they're not explored. I think junglers kind of default into this like Volibear, Jarvan type stuff when they have really high exploitability. And yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to prove next play on NLC.
That's interesting, because I remember there was a pick a while ago. I can't remember. I don't think it was Worlds. It may have been LCK, but someone picked Eve against Faker and won the game, I think, from what I remember, and looked difficult to deal with. Yeah. But then, if you put pink wards in the right places, you can counter Eve as well.
Yeah, the thing with Eve specifically, because I put a lot of time into Eve, I played in NLC, is at a certain point you're so strong that it doesn't matter if they have vision on you. You can just charm the first person you see and kind of blow them up, even if they're a tank. So the kind of infamous line I think I did in NLC was like, Eve is a really good matchup in a Volibear. Because it doesn't matter if he sees you, he can't like handle your damage. So.
If you've got a void staff as well, I find you can chunk through tanks surprisingly.
Extremely easy, yeah.
And I feel bad because shout out to Megalodontus. Megalodontus does most of our NLC viewing because I have a million things on. So I feel bad. I'm going to have to look that back now and watch your Eve game.
It's not a great game. But
isn't it?
Yeah, okay. No, it goes terribly wrong. But if you want to see good Evelyns, look up C9 Academy jungler. He plays a lot of Eve. So.
Okay, I'll watch out for that then. Well, Pawp, thanks again. I know I did an outro a while ago and we carried on talking, but congrats again. Good luck in the NLC summer. And yeah, I'll be following you, watching closely. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to Aegon by AOC for sending me here. And I'll be back with more Insomnia content soon. Cheers. Thanks very
Thank
much,
you.
Paul. Cheers.